Welcome aboard, fellow wanderers, to what is going to be a marvellous summer. Over the next 12 or 15 videos, I'm going to bring you to some amazing places, the like of which you may well have never seen before. Join me, good folk, on a journey into the spirit of happiness.
Gotta love it, ain't ya?
Britain, Britain, Britain. The land where breakfasts last all day. The place of tea, drizzle, and the competitive sport of queuing. Britain, or more importantly, England, invented everything that ever existed in the entire world. Google it. We are great. Britain, where Greggs has become the king of beige food and people are still getting stuck into crumpets and tarts. A proud island of double entendres. A nation where the weather is grey, the humour dark, and the need to fit in is very, very strong. Yes, Britain, small island, big ideas. Some of them even useful.
Some say there's an illegal migrant crisis, with thousands of young men arriving on boats on the shores of Britain without any women. Some say there's a rise in the far right. Some say there's a rise in the far left. Some say it's a 50-50 choice for everything and you must choose a side. Some say there's a drink and drugs problem, maybe a violence problem. Some say there's cracky, spice and knife crime everywhere. Some say the police have lost control. Some say the high street's deader than a dodo in Debenhams.
Some say the women folk have taken to displaying their furry front bottoms for the whole world to see. We call this phenomenon rise of the camel toe. And if you don't want to see somebody's breakfast literally winking at you, you must look the other way. Some say you must fly the flag. Some say, you're a bit racist if you fly that flag. Some really couldn't give a shit. Some say that it's become so overtly politically correct that satirical shows like Little Britain cannot be shown, even though they were mocking this very thing. Some say the land of tea has become the land of coffee and Red Bull. Other energy drinks are available. Some say that pigeons in the town centres are pretty annoying. They're like flying rats. But some of us really know who the wankers are. Seagulls. Some say the very best city centre hotels are full of migrants and the owners of these hotels are getting offered extraordinary amounts of money by the government to house such people. Some say, immigrants built our country, let them all in. Some say people are throwing passports in the sea, having already failed asylum in many other countries previously, and arriving in Britain or England completely undocumented. The fear, some say, is that anybody could be arriving on the shores of Britain. Anybody.
Better I just take a selfie.
However, rest assured that I won't be looking for anything shocking or sensational. I'm not going to be going to the dodgy housing estates or hassling the homeless, migrants or head the balls. I don't watch the news. I don't have a political allegiance at all. I'm not right, I'm not left. I've never, ever voted.
I'm going to go about my normal business, so to speak, as normal as I can be after 26 years in Thailand. I'm going to be wandering about like a tourist in my own country and seeing what's changed and what's the same. I want to give you my genuine first impressions on what I see, smell, hear and experience during my time back. And I'm going to be honest. There'll be no rose-tinted glasses or shit-coloured glasses here. I'm going to be honest on what I experience.
Look, I want to know, are the phone boxes still red? Are the people still a quirky and eclectic bunch?
So here I am for the next dozen videos, back where it all began, ready to explore, observe and possibly offend. Actually, I will definitely offend people and I won't care at all. So let's put the kettle on brace for the wind, and see if Britain, or far more importantly, England, remembers me.
It's nothing to do with me, I just want a picture of that. Well, must be feeding time. Greetings internet, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to Mother England. Before I arrived in England, you know, everybody's telling me about what to expect, how much the country's changed and how much there's a massive problem with the boat people and the illegal migrants or illegal immigrants and that sort of thing, and how the demographics have changed completely. So I just want to give you a couple of first impressions. First one really is first day, come out of my sister's house, went into town, went 200 metres, a massive punch up, all white people, no migrants, about 15 aside, and do you know what? Made my heart sing a little bit because they were even jabbing. Everyone knows in a street fight if you jab you get knocked out, but they're having a proper fair 10 aside punch up. There were no knives involved, there was no 3, 4, 5 and 1, no pack attacks, nothing like that. Just a massive punch up outside of a pub. And that was the very first impression. Good old England, still here. Old wharves and the docks and everything. This is pretty spectacular. Look at that view. The other thing I have noticed here in England, I'm in Newcastle upon Tyne in the city centre, and I've read reports or seen reports that city centres have become, I don't know, not very pleasant places. And I have to say that the amount of people drinking on the street, the amount of alcoholics, the amount of drug addicts, the amount of homeless people, the amount of people causing noise and bother in the town centre is quite extraordinary, and I'm not sure what the local governments or the government is doing in general with. Everywhere I go, there are people sleeping in doorways, sleeping in the park. But here in Newcastle, all those people are whiteys. The United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, what is going on? You'll find coffee shops at 4 o'clock in the afternoon with nothing but 60, 70, 80 single men, all from the migrant hotel. Just my first impressions. Haven't seen any real trouble or anything like that. I think most of the time just walking about is pretty normal, and the demographics are very similar, but I really think it depends on the activity that you're doing. You know, like I saw that guy Wendell doing a video where he went to Benidorm and said this is the last bastion of British working class culture. He's probably right. People find the English or the British, they find us uncouth and unpleasant and rude and boisterous and loud, but I guess that's just who we are, really.
For anybody slightly confused, I'm from the country of England. I'm English, and all of you speak the language of my tiny weeny little nation. Now, England is part of the island, geographically, of Great Britain. That's it there, which comprises, as well as England, bonny wee Scotland. I could tell you about the time that they tried with their own empire. They invested all of the country's money, broke away from the Union, and we won't go into it too much. It was called the Darien scheme, though, if you would like to Google it, D-A-R-I-E-N. Then they came crawling back. Anyway, and Wales, where the men are men and the sheep are terrified. Now, the larger group of islands is called the British Isles and incorporates the island of Great Britain and the island of Ireland. Now, if you take Great Britain and the top little bit of Ireland, called Northern Ireland, then you get the UK, which is an abbreviation of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. So, to be clear, it goes British Isles, the UK, or the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, GB, or Great Britain. Then it goes England, Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland. Now, Ireland, as an island, is one, as it is in rugby actually, but that's another story. But the Republic of Ireland is a totally separate country and not part of the UK at all, although it is part of the British Isles. I do hope all this is really clear so far. Okay, let's talk law. There is no law of the UK or the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. We have the law of England and Wales, the law of Scotland, and the law of Northern Ireland. Sure, the other nations that make up the UK are pretty cool, but England is by far the best. Well, it's the best country in the world, and it's given the modern world, well, the modern world. Here are just a few of Mother England's beautiful inventions. We've given the world many, many important inventions. The steam engine, the light bulb, the telephone, jet engine, language, the umbrella, the World Wide Web, the postage stamp and the toothbrush. Although for some that's merely a concept. We brought you the lawnmower, the hovercraft, the chocolate digestive. Britain gave the world the vacuum cleaner, flushable toilets, and the traffic cone, a sacred object that mysteriously breeds overnight. We pioneered the thermos flask, the penny farthing, the sandwich, the spork for when you need to stab, scoop and confuse your lunch simultaneously. We pioneered the tea bag, football, the electric kettle and the garden gnome, because what every garden needs, as we all know, is a small ceramic man, fishing rod or penis in hand, silently judging you.
This has got to be my favourite pastime. Oh, bit bumpy. Bit bumpy. You can get that off if you want in a minute, mate. Let me just zoom up here, yeah? Get out the spinny bit, look. Gotta love it, ain't ya?
Make prolific confessions into the master plan. I feel like they will never let me shine. What do you need to say that feels so grand? Why is yours so much better than mine? I gotta wait in line for you to feel me. I got to hold my time for your healing. I got to take a back seat, are you kidding? I got to grab my chance cause it's fleeting. Cause this just feels like yesterday. This just feels like yesterday. Oh, this just feels like yesterday. Oh, this just feels like yesterday. Hey!
Even in a place like this, there are homeless people tucked under doorways and under bridges, and should that really be happening in a place that purports to be a rich country and accepts people in? King Charles stood on this tower September the 24th, 1645, and saw his army defeated on Rowton Moor. Bad luck, Charlie. Oh, hello. Always room for a cock. Hello, my little friend. Oh, he's got a chestnut. That's right.
I'm not going to show you the exact address because apparently that's not allowed, but directly opposite the railway station in Chester is Chester's oldest, most beautiful hotel, and on the door It says, no entry, residents only. I went up the stairs to have a look inside and, you guessed it, migrant hotel, absolutely full of single male migrants. My question again really is, why is it in the town centre in a clearly tourist hotel? There are many hotels on motorways and kind of out of the way where people could be housed very safely. Why are city centre hotels being used?
English or British people, give your head a wobble just for a minute and ask yourselves, is this normal? You all pay tax and you all pay quite a lot of tax, yet you have city centres with rats running all over them. Both actual rats and people rats. Police can do nothing. Police can't clip someone around the ear or do anything except move them on. So somebody's acting a real wanker in the middle of town, fighting each other, fighting bins, causing loads of mayhem. Police can't do anything. In the park here, I'll show you in a minute the basketball courts, how they're left every morning. I don't remember in England like this. I really don't. The fucking rats all over the park. Where are the people picking up the shit so the rats don't come? Let's see how the youth have left this place in the morning. Bearing in mind there are bins everywhere, yeah? Look, there are bins everywhere. Someone's had a fire. Some cunt thought it would be a good idea to do that, look. Lovely people. All of these parks are infested with rats. Why? Are there more people throwing rubbish? Are there less workers sorting this shit out? You need to stand up for yourselves. You pay a lot of money in tax and this is what you get? Seriously? I haven't seen one rent-a-kill van, a rat catcher or anyone like that.
Seems to me that the police have lost control a little bit of the town centres. That we see a couple of guys fighting a bin the other day, punching crap out of a bin, rolling about in the street. There are kids about and everything. We've seen many incidents like this with, you know, alcohol and drug-related behaviour in town centres, and it seems to me the police can't even grip them up. They can just move them on, and for me that's not really good enough. The town centres are, they're not great. The next thing to bring up probably is what everybody's talking about is the illegal migrants. The only thing I've really observed in Newcastle is that most English people are getting the cheapest cups of coffee and stuff like that they can. They're going to Greggs and stuff. All the young single men from the hotel in which they've been put in at British taxpayers' expense, they're all sitting outside this really expensive coffee shop. It's like £4.80 for a single shot of espresso, and they're sitting there all afternoon into the evening. They're all men below a certain age. There's no women, there's no kids. I'm going to offer no opinion on that right now. I'm just going to say that's something that I've observed. I've noticed a big rise in traffic. Is that because there's a lot more people here? I don't really know. I've noticed a lot more control with the traffic. There are 20 mile an hour limits, 30 mile an hour limits, and all the speed limits seem to have gone down, even though cars have got better, roads have got better, brakes have got better, yet we're expected to drive slower now. So there's a lot more control in general. People seem to be constantly anxious about, I'm not quite sure what really.
It seems to me that everybody in England these days thinks that vaping in public is absolutely fine. Like the entire country got together, had a secret meeting and agreed, yes, let's all blow blueberry muffin scented fog into each other's faces. Perfectly reasonable behaviour. I've seen mothers blowing great big clouds over their prams. You got shop workers standing right in the doorway, puffing away like human foghorns. So you can't even get into Tesco without walking through a cloud that smells like mango Snapple smoothie. And the thing is, people genuinely believe it's harmless because it smells like candy floss, as if the flavour somehow cancels out the fact that you're standing there, actively blowing your lung soup into my personal space. I don't care if it smells like strawberries, marshmallows, or unicorn dreams. You've just hotboxed the bus stop, mate. You've been completely hoodwinked as a nation, Everyone's swapped their ciggies for vapes and suddenly you're all behaving like it's the 1950s all over again. Back then, doctors were recommending cigarettes for a healthy throat, and now it's like, try the Raspberry Ripple 5000. It'll clear your sinuses and keep the kids entertained with bubbles. You can't walk 10 feet in England without some bloke in a tracksuit exhaling a watermelon-flavoured nimbus cloud straight into your path. Whole pavements are turning into vape lounges. I half expect airports to start issuing weather reports. Visibility's low this evening, folks, thanks to a local dad called Dave with a cherry cola vape. And the arrogance, the little hand flick, the casual exhale as if we all should be grateful, like, don't worry everybody, this isn't smoke, this is banana pancake. Oh, cheers Dave. Just what I wanted, mate, to smell like I've spent 3 hours trapped inside a Yankee Candle.
Another thing I've noticed is the amount of homeless people, and I can only really comment on the places that I've been or been going for early morning walks. Two main places on two different sides of the country, one in the north-east, Newcastle upon Tyne, and the other one in the northwest, a place called Chester, two both very old historic cities. And on my early morning walks I've noticed homeless people sleeping under bridges, behind benches, just, you know, tucked out of the way of the late night drunks. And the one thing that I would say, and I don't care how this comes across, it's literally what I'm seeing. Let's say I've seen 500 homeless people. I haven't seen any non-English people. I've seen like one black English guy, but I haven't seen anybody else, any other ethnic minorities. Again, I'm not making really any assumptions on that. I'm just telling you what I've seen, really.
Look, there are some negatives and I have to get them out of the way. Obviously, the big issue is the amount of undocumented migrants coming in. It does need to be discussed. The other thing, obviously, rats. Ironic, because in that park, UB40 played, and one of their biggest songs is There's a Rat in Me Kitchen. Well, there's a rat in me park. What are you going to do? Loss of control by the police through various laws. They can't clip anyone round the ear, and they can only move people on. Therefore, there's a lot of antisocial behaviour. But you know what? The positives far, far, far outweigh the negatives. They really, really do. My England is very much still alive and breathing. British people love the seaside, absolutely love it. English people, British people, look, they love the seaside. And there's nothing better than this, look, Long Beach, Tynemouth, Northumberland coast. She's a beauty.
The other thing I've noticed though, and this is very, very positive thing, British culture is very, very much alive, my friends. Everything we've done over the last week, there've been English people everywhere doing English things, whether it's wandering to castles, taking kids to the beach, all these different things we've been doing over the last week. Haven't seen any of these migrants that people are talking about. Yes, we're in the northeast. All I've seen are English people doing very English things, and it's been wonderful to see. It's honestly, the last week has felt like, apart from the modern technology and stuff, it feels like we're back in the 80s, mate. The sun is shining, the beaches are absolutely rammed full of British people celebrating the weather and celebrating the fact it's still the school holidays, and everybody's doing what they used to do. They're out there with a fishing net, they're going over the rocks, they're sunbathing. It really is a beautiful thing to see. British culture, I would suggest, is very much well and alive. people up here in Northumberland, they've always flown the Northumberland flag. You have the yellow and red flag, but it seems to me that a lot of places, whether it's town halls, whether it's pubs, hotels, a lot of people are flying the British flag right now, and also the St George's Cross as well. I think that's probably as a reaction to maybe Keir Starmer calling very normal working class English people the extreme right. I think that's really upset people. I think people really don't like that.
And there's still very, very much a class divide, and I've got a feeling a lot of what's going on right now is just that rearing its ugly head in a different guise. Now, for me, it's always been the case of if you're middle class or educated, or you see yourself as educated or superior or middle class or left wing or whatever, you're never ever going to accept the opinion of what you call an uneducated thicko, or what you're now calling extreme far right. Now, I like to call them the working classes, and here's the problem at the moment. These working classes have bailed you people out time and time again throughout history. I mean, we've got the obvious Boer War, World War I, World War II, but I mean, it's been happening forever. So all I'm saying really is, at the moment, a lot of you people that are left wing at the moment, you were all conservatives when I was growing up. You know, a lot of the working classes were actually Labour. It seems to have switched round now, doesn't it, a little bit? But that's the narrative. So class war's still very much alive. The moneyed white collar versus the blue collar. It's always been that way. You can argue against it, but the way I see it is this, is if you have a working class man with an opinion, and you can mock them all you want, you know, you've got the guys painting roundabouts, the guys flying flags and stuff like that, but these are the bread and butter of the nation, and you need to open up a debate between all people. And you can't win an argument by shouting racist anymore. You can't win an argument by saying, well, I'm more educated than you, I'm far more intelligent, you're an uneducated thicko, I'm just simply not going to listen. And so that's gloriously the same. It's always been a quirky, eclectic country with a forced two-party system, and people are always led into believing there is more than two choices. There never is. But my England is still very much here. My English culture, my British culture is very, very much still alive. Now, I only went to the northwest and the northeast, but in these two places, my heart sings to be able to tell you that everything is as beautiful as my rose-tinted glasses remember the summer of 76. I was 3 years of age, and that was the last really hot summer in England. Well, the record has just been broken, my friends, and I can confirm that England this summer was a glorious place to be. People basking in the sunshine, politeness overload. It really was a wonderful thing to witness, to take part in, and to be there for. My friends, the world is a very dark and negative place if you allow it to be. But you know what? You can switch off that. If you go looking for negativity, you're going to find it in every single step, every facet of your life. But you know what? You can find that positivity. It's there. Happiness is there. We've all just got to strive really to find it, to not allow ourselves to be drawn every single morning when we first watch the news into negativity and then regurgitate that all day. Let's celebrate life. Let's celebrate people. Let's celebrate the fact that every person, race, colour, religion, whatever, pretty much everybody's striving for the same thing. They just want to be happy. They want to look after their family. They want to provide for their family, for their loved ones, and they just want to have a good time. So, over the next 12 or 15 videos, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to get loaded. We're going to have a good time. And I'm going to show you the best of this great Britain, the best of this wonderful nation of England.
Look, I know I started off this series of videos by saying Britain, Britain, Britain. But you know what? I'm not going to take you to see all the people of Britain. There's other people that do that, and I'm not going to show you the negativity. Like I said, there might be a little bit in this series of videos, but what I'm going to try and do is just take you where I'm going. And I do like to go to some spectacular spots. England and Britain are full of them. I like to get out there over the moors, castles, beaches, mountains, hills, and right now here on Hadrian's Wall,